serene Himalayan foothills of Dehradun, a city often celebrated for its pleasant climate and natural beauty, were shattered by an intense and destructive cloudburst that triggered severe flash floods across the district. Beginning overnight on Monday and continuing into Tuesday morning, the torrential downpour overwhelmed the region's river systems, leading to widespread flooding, infrastructure collapse, and multiple casualties. The calamity has left a trail of destruction, with rescue operations in full swing as authorities and disaster response teams scramble to reach and aid the affected population. The events of September 16th followed a pattern of extreme weather seen across northern India in 2025, sparking serious concerns about climate change's increasing impact on the fragile Himalayan ecosystem. What began as heavy rainfall escalated rapidly, transforming placid rivers and streams into raging torrents that swept away everything in their path. The devastation was geographically extensive, impacting several key areas of Dehradun. The picturesque Sahastradhara area, a popular tourist destination, was particularly hard hit. The cascading floodwaters washed away numerous shops, hotels, and vehicles, fundamentally altering the landscape. Similarly, the Tamsa, Karligarh, Tons, and Sahastradhara rivers breached their banks, leading to mass inundation. In the Premnagar area, the force of the Tons River was enough to sweep away a large tractor trolley, highlighting the sheer power of the deluge. The city's infrastructure suffered a severe blow. One of the most critical arteries, a bridge on the Dehradun-Haridwar National Highway, was completely washed away, leaving thousands of commuters and pilgrims stranded. This destruction of transport links posed immediate challenges for rescue and relief efforts, isolating communities and complicating the delivery of aid. The cultural and religious landscape was not spared. The historic Tapkeshwar Mahadev Temple, located on the banks of the Tamsa River, was submerged under the fast-rising floodwaters. According to temple priests, the water level inside the cave temple rose dramatically by 10 to 12 feet, creating a surreal and alarming sight. A massive statue of Hanuman at the temple's entrance was submerged up to its shoulders. Fortunately, reports from priests indicated that the main sanctum sanctorum remained undamaged, offering a small sign of relief amidst the widespread tragedy. The district administration, under the leadership of District Magistrate Savan Bansal, acted swiftly to coordinate a massive rescue and relief operation. Teams from the National Disaster Response Force, NDRF, and the State Disaster Response Force, SDRF, were immediately deployed to the worst-affected areas. Dramatic rescue operations were captured on video and shared by NDRF, showing personnel using ropes to rescue a person stranded on an electricity pole amidst the swirling floodwaters of the Sahastradhara River in Premnagar. Another report detailed the rescue of a child from the flooded midstream of the same river, underscoring the valor and swift action of the response teams. Rescue efforts were particularly focused on evacuating stranded residents from low-lying areas. Around 200 students from the Shri Devbhoomi Institute in Ponda were trapped by the floodwaters and later rescued by disaster response teams. Over 100 individuals were rescued from different parts of the city by the SDRF, with a particular focus on areas like Raipur's Panchkuli, where over 30 people were reported trapped. The severity of the situation prompted high-level government intervention. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami inspected the affected regions to oversee rescue and relief operations, receiving assurances of full support from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah. This follows a previous high-level review meeting in early September, where the PM had already announced significant financial assistance for flood-affected areas in Uttarakhand. highlighting the recurrent nature of these disasters in the region. The meteorological explanation for the intense rainfall pointed to the interaction of easterly and westerly air masses. While an official stated that the rainfall fell just short of the official cloudburst definition, 100 millimeters per hour, its intensity was high enough to cause widespread devastation, especially given the region's fragile geology. Experts and research have long highlighted the Himalayan region's vulnerability to extreme weather events, pointing to a confluence of factors including climate change, shifting monsoon dynamics, and unsustainable development practices. Rapid melting of glaciers, coupled with erratic monsoons, has increased the risk of both floods and droughts, placing immense pressure on the region's ecosystems and socio-economic frameworks. The human and economic toll of the cloudburst and floods is significant. Beyond the immediate casualties and infrastructure damage, the long-term impacts are expected to be profound. Livelihoods, particularly those dependent on local commerce, tourism, and agriculture, have been severely affected. The collapse of vital road networks, in a region where tourism is a major economic driver, will have far-reaching consequences. Meanwhile, as of Tuesday evening, official reports confirm at least 13 deaths, 16 missing persons, and hundreds displaced, with rescue operations ongoing under perilous conditions. The worst-hit areas, Sahastradhara, Maldevta, and Premnagar, saw rivers like the Tons and Tamsa swell beyond their banks, inundating roads, temples, and residential zones. In Premnagar, 6 laborers were swept away while working near the swollen Tons River. Their bodies were later recovered by the State Disaster Response Force, SDRF, while 6 others remain missing. In Sahastradhara, the floodwaters surged into Karligarh village, damaging over 23 homes and resorts. We woke up to the sound of crashing water and debris. Within minutes, our house was submerged, said Sunita Devi, a resident who escaped with her 2 children using a rope tied between trees. The revered Tapkeshwar Mahadev Temple, nestled along the banks of the Tamsa River, was partially submerged. Water levels rose so rapidly that the temple's courtyard, including a large Hanuman statue, was engulfed. In my 30 years here, I've never seen the river behave like this, said Bipin Joshi, the temple priest. The Shivling was underwater. We barely escaped with our lives. Rescue teams from the SDRF, National Disaster Response Force, NDRF, and Public Works Department, PWD, worked through the night, navigating blocked roads and raging currents. A viral video showed a trolley truck stranded mid-river with 10 to 12 workers clinging to its frame. Moments later, the vehicle was flipped by the current, sweeping the workers away. 8 bodies were recovered. 2 remain missing. In another dramatic rescue, an NDRF officer saved a child stranded in the Swarna River by climbing a pole and crossing a ropeway amid roaring waters. It was a race against time. The child was slipping, and the current was unforgiving, said the officer. The Maldevta approach bridge was washed away, cutting off access to several villages. Landslides blocked key routes between Dehradun and Mussoorie, including Jarapani, Chinakala, and Kamati. Schools across the district were closed as a precaution, and relief camps were set up to shelter displaced families. In Mussoorie, a laborer died when debris fell on his house. Tourists stranded due to road closures were offered free accommodation by the local hotel association. We cannot let visitors suffer. All our members are providing shelter, said Sanjay Agarwal, president of the association. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami visited flood-hit zones on Tuesday morning. Over 25 roads have been destroyed. Communication lines are down. Relief teams are working round the clock, he stated. He pledged immediate restoration of water and electricity supplies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a 1,200 Indian rupees crore relief package for Uttarakhand, including 2 Indian rupees lakh compensation for bereaved families and 50,000 Indian rupees for the injured. Children orphaned by the disaster will receive long-term care under the PM Cares for Children scheme. The union government stands shoulder to shoulder with Uttarakhand. We will rebuild, restore, and ensure safety, Modi said during his visit to Dehradun. Meteorologists from the India Meteorological Department, IMD, issued a red alert for Dehradun and surrounding districts, warning of continued heavy rainfall, landslides, and flash floods through September 20th. Experts point to a disturbing trend: increasing frequency of cloudbursts and extreme monsoon events in the Himalayan region. This is not an isolated incident, said Dr. Ramesh Kumar, a climate scientist at the Indian Institute of Remote Sensing. We're seeing a pattern of intensifying rainfall, poor drainage planning, and unchecked urbanization. Dehradun's vulnerability is systemic. Ramesh Singh, a shopkeeper in Sahastradhara, broke down as he recounted the moment his shop was washed away. I built it over 20 years. It vanished in 20 seconds. I have nothing left, he said. In Raipur, Sunita Devi described the deafening roar of water as her house collapsed. We ran with our children barefoot through the mud. We didn't even have time to grab clothes, she said. Despite the devastation, stories of resilience abound. Volunteers distributed food and blankets at relief camps. Local youth formed human chains to help elderly residents cross flooded streets. We may be broken, but we are not alone, said one volunteer. The Dehradun floods have reignited debates on disaster preparedness, urban planning, and climate adaptation. Critics argue that unchecked construction along riverbanks, poor drainage systems, and delayed early warning mechanisms worsen the impact. Floods are not just natural disasters, they're governance failures, said Anjali Mehta, an environmental activist. We need resilient infrastructure, community-based warning systems, and strict zoning laws. The state government has promised a full audit of flood-prone zones and a review of construction permits near rivers. Whether these promises translate into lasting change remains to be seen. Among the victims were laborers, students, shopkeepers, and pilgrims. Their names may not appear in headlines, but their stories echo through the valleys of Dehradun. A candlelight vigil is planned at Gandhi Park on Friday to honor those lost and missing. We light these candles not just for the dead, but for the living, to remind ourselves that we must do better, said vigil organizer Priya Rawat.